You're watching NHK Newsline. It's 6 a.m. Sunday, Tokyo time. France, Britain, and the United States launched airstrikes on Libyan government forces on Saturday. The raids are in line with a UN Security Council resolution allowing military action to protect the Libyan people from attacks by Muammar Gaddafi's forces.
Tonight, British forces are in action over Libya. They are part of an international coalition that has come together to enforce the will of the United Nations and to protect the Libyan people.
The U.S. Defense Department says its military has started a missile attack against Libya's air defenses. It says more than 100 Tomahawk cruise missiles were launched from U.S. Navy vessels in the Mediterranean. The French Defense Ministry says its air force carried out its first attack against Gaddafi's forces at 7 p.m. on Saturday. France has deployed about 20 fighter jets over Libya. They have carried out airstrikes against government forces, apparently near Benghazi in the northeast of the country. Meanwhile, Russia's foreign ministry says it's regrettable that military intervention has begun in Libya. In a statement issued on Saturday, it called for all forces in Libya and nations conducting military operations to take every possible measure to stop violence as soon as possible to avoid civilian casualties. Firefighters have ended a 13-and-a-half water spraying operation to cool the number 3 reactor at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant. The Tokyo Fire Department started the operation shortly after 2 p.m. on Saturday. The firefighters set up an unmanned vehicle in front of the plant that can spray seawater from a height of 22 meters. The water is being supplied through an 800-meter hose. Officials say the system will protect the firefighters from harmful radiation. All-out efforts are being made to cool down the storage pool for spent nuclear fuel rods to prevent it from leaking radioactive substances. The Tokyo Fire Department had planned a 7-hour operation to discharge about 1,200 tons of water, almost the same amount as the capacity of the storage pool. But it extended the operation for 6.5 hours after repeated requests from the government. The total amount of water sprayed was apparently more than double the capacity of the pool. The Tokyo Fire Department and the government task force will discuss the possibility of further spraying operations at the stricken plant. Earlier, Tokyo Fire Department workers who helped to spray water on Saturday held a news conference.
He asked me what was most difficult. Well, it is my firefighters. My firefighters have very high level of motivation and they worked very hard. And they're left behind families. I feel extremely sorry for the families that are left behind. I would like to offer my apologies and appreciations to them. More than anything else, the members of the mobile unit that secured our safety, they constantly gave us the measurement results, being with us all the time. They gave us the readings constantly. And their backup and support has allowed us to complete this task. I text to my wife that I'm going to now go to the nuclear power plant. And my wife texts back to me simply saying that, please become a savior for Japan.
The Japanese government's Nuclear and Industrial Safety Agency announced that the radiation levels have decreased near the number 3 reactor building. The agency said that the radiation level at a survey point 500 meters from the reactor was 2,906 microsieverts at 9 p.m. on Saturday. Before the day's water spraying operations began, the level was 3,443 microsieverts. That's a decrease of almost 500 microsieverts.
As of now, a certain level of stability is shown. We hope that continuous water spraying will further improve the stability.
Chief Cabinet Secretary Yukio Edano said the spraying operations appear to be effective, But Edano emphasized continued pumping of water is necessary to improve the situation.
Water's been sprayed into number 3 reactor storage pool successfully, leading to a certain degree of stability. Having said that, we need to stay alerted. So we continue to try to ensure stable water spray to number 3 and 4 reactors. So there will be much improved situation.
University of Tokyo professor Naoto Sekimura offers his analysis of the video released by the SDF.
And this is the first time that we see the inside of the vicinity of the nuclear power plant, and some of the buildings are heavily damaged by the explosion. Professor Naoto Sekimura is an expert of the nuclear energy, and he analyzed the video and says as follows.
Due to the explosion, you can see that the building has largely been destroyed. It shows the impact of the magnitude of the explosion. And Professor Sekimura goes on to point out about how the third nuclear reactor was destroyed. This, you can see the destroyed part, and this, the container vessel of the reactor, and the pool that stores the spent nuclear fuel is here. And the vessel container has 34 meters in height. So therefore, you can see that there are 34 meters, including the underground, and you can see, and here it has the vessel. And as for the spent nuclear fuel pool, it is contained in around 12 meters underground. Now you can see that there's no major destruction to the lower part of the building. However, in the upper level, above the container vessel, you can see that there was a major destruction in the building itself. The upper part and the lower part of the building had were destroyed in a different manner. And the professor says that in the first place, the building had a structure where the lower part is more stronger than the upper part. But he pointed out that there is a crane that are affixed to the upper part of the building, and he says that there is a need to confirm how the crane is. Now, he says that the building has been destroyed, so there is the crane that was fixed in the upper part of the building must be checked to see the condition, because it may be that the crane may have destroyed the pipes and the fuel rods as well. So there is a possibility that must be taken into account and must be confirmed.
Meanwhile, Tokyo Electric Power Company says its engineers have finished connecting 2 of the damaged reactors at the plant to external power sources. The company says it aims to resume the reactor's cooling functions by Sunday, but challenges remain as many parts of the facilities were soaked in seawater. The workers connected cables to the number 1 and number 2 reactors on Saturday evening. The nuclear plant lost cooling for the reactors and spent fuel rod pools due to malfunctions of emergency power generators after the quake. The situation could lead to a massive leakage of radioactive substances. The power company will check the reactor's cooling equipment before deciding whether to resume power. The Nuclear and Industrial Safety Agency says the power company will turn on meters to check the condition of the reactors and then work on the cooling systems of the reactors and spent fuel rod pools. The agency says the company aims to restore power for the remaining 4 reactors by Sunday. The government says the level of radiation in a town 30 kilometers from the Fukushima Daiichi plant remains relatively high. It says levels in the rest of the area are not immediately harmful to human health. The Science Ministry released the data on levels of outdoor radiation monitored at 28 locations in a 30 to 60 kilometer radius of